Last of Us is my favourite game ever made. Everything from the gameplay, characters, horror, pacing and music are done so exceptionally well, and it left an impact on me for many years. Shortly after I beat The Last of Us in 2020, an announcement that The Last of Us show was in development and to stream on HBO Max, my excitement was soaring through the roof with this announcement because it now meant I could experience this story with family and friends who don't enjoy video games and would rather watch a TV show. Now, before I get into my thoughts, I want to clarify something. This will be a complete spoiler fest that will cover the biggest moments in the show and both Last of Us game. So if you don't want to get spoiled, maybe tune out, go watch the show, or play the fucking video game, dude. It's worth your time, I promise you. So after watching this whole show, I can confirm that this is the greatest video game adaptation to date. The show not only adapts the core story from the game, but also adds its own lore on top of what we already knew, which is great for contextualizing key moments and plot points from the game. For example, Bill and Frank's relationship. The game barely covers this in any aspect because it's not necessary to the plot and would have ultimately been filler in the game's pacing and overall narrative. So I want you to ask yourself, if it was cut from the game, is it a good idea to include it in the show? Not even include it, but replace the content that's already there. In my opinion, it's a good idea, but is poorly implemented and executed in the show's story. Before we discuss why this is bad, we need to talk about what this story is. Now, I've always interpreted this story as a broken man who has lost all semblance of humanity and hope, which is then restored by a young girl named Ellie. We spend the whole game watching these two grow together and share heartwarming experiences with one another as they venture through America to deliver Ellie to the Fireflies. The story is about 18 hours long, with 4 of those hours being cutscenes, including the Left Behind DLC. Those 14 hours of gameplay are, in my opinion, where the most development is given to these characters. They have constant back and forth, whether it's telling each other jokes from a pun book.
Do you know what's not right?
Left?
Yeah. That's awesome.
Discussing events from the game they've experienced together.
That's too small. Great.
I forgot to leave that stupid robot on his grave. What should I do with it?
Ellie.
What? I want to talk about it.
No.
Why not?
How many times do we need to go over this? Things happen, and we move on.
It's just...
That's enough.
You're right. I'm sorry.
Or reflecting on their pasts and being honest with one another.
This place takes me back.
How so?
That was right after everything went down. I ended up in a triage just like this. And everywhere you looked, you just saw families torn apart. The whole damn world seemed to have turned upside down in a blink.
Is that after you lost Sarah?
Yes, it was.
I can't imagine losing someone you love like that. Losing everything that you know. I'm sorry, Joel.
That's okay, Ellie.
Character growth is naturally built up over this runtime, with every big scene feeling earned and emotionally moving in all the right ways. The final 2 hours of this game is my favourite storytelling in any media. Our protagonists are close to the destination and we get some really heartwarming moments like petting the giraffe.
What are you doing?
It's all right. Come here, come here. Hey, fella. Hurry up, come on. Come on.
Hey there. So fucking cool. Oh, where's it off to? Here, come on, let's go.
Slow down, kiddo.
Staring off into the town. And Ellie even giving Joel a picture of Sarah, which he accepts.
Got something for you. Here. Maria showed this to me and I stole it. I hope you don't mind.
Well, no matter how hard you try, I guess you can't escape your past. Thank you.
While all these scenes are playing, the music is oddly peaceful and optimistic, which I always interpreted as Joel finally coming to terms with this new reality and finding prosperity in his new daughter figure. All this game builds up to the climax where it's revealed to Joel that the Fireflies are going to sacrifice Ellie to create a vaccine, and Troy Baker's acting is just wonderful here.
Find someone else.
There is no one else.
Listen, you were gonna show me where...
Stop. I get it. But whatever it is you think you're going through right now is nothing to what I have been through. I knew her since she was born. I promised her mother I would look after her.
Then why are you letting this happen?
Because this isn't about me, or even her. There is no other choice here.
Joel can't bear the thought of losing another daughter figure, so he fights his way to the operating room.
Sweet Jesus.
Doctor?
What are you doing? I won't let you take her. This is our future. Think of all the lives we'll save.
No! Fucking animal!
Saves Ellie and escapes the hospital. Shortly after this, Ellie regains consciousness as Joel lies to her, saying,
We found the Fireflies. Turns out there's a whole lot more like you, Ellie. People that are immune. There's dozens, actually. Ain't done 'em a damn bit of good, neither. They've stopped looking for a cure. I'm taking us home. I'm sorry.
They both arrive back at Jackson, and the game draws to a close. 15 hours of well-earned moments, character growth, bonding, and well-paced storytelling makes this, in my opinion, the most effective ending in gaming. Now, let's see how the show does things. The show is about 9 hours long, with 9 episodes ranging from 45 minutes to 80 minutes. I have 3 problems with this show, and they all centre around the pacing. My first problem is that too much time is spent dicking around on things that don't add anything to the story. Bill and Frank's episode is so incredibly frustrating, not because it's about a relationship between 2 gay men, but because it wastes 50 minutes of the show's runtime. It's irrelevant to the overall plot, and robs us of extra focus on the relationship between Joel and Ellie we could have gotten. Episode 4 is even more frustrating, adding a Karen villain who doesn't add anything to the story and just wastes more time. It's not that these things are bad, and with more episode it would have been nice to explore, but the showrunners had half the time they had in the original game to make that ending effective. And sadly they failed to make that ending as memorable compared to the game. In fact, most of the heartwarming, smaller moments from the game are pretty much completely gone here. We get small references like the pun book scene.
No pun intended. Volume 2 by Will Livingston. Volume 2. Look, you get it? 2? Like T-O-O?
Fart joke in the apartment.
That is so goddamn stupid.
You laughed, motherfucker.
I didn't laugh.
Yes, you did.
Jesus, I'm losing it.
You're losing it big time.
And the scene where Joel explains his wound to Ellie.
So time heals all wounds, I guess?
It wasn't time that did it.
Which is all appreciated, but what makes the story memorable is that ending, and it feels hollow here. It feels hollow because not enough time or focus is given to Joel and Ellie. If your Last of Us show is 9 episodes long, all 9 of those episodes need to be devoted between these 2 characters. I mean, fuck man, the game did it, and that's why the game was so memorable and the ending was so effective. If a longer runtime was issued, if more episodes were produced, if more focus was given to Joel and Ellie, this show would have been a 10 out of 10 show easily. because everything else in the show is fucking awe-inspiring. The music contains mixed tracks from both games, the performances from everyone in this cast do the characters justice, art direction and cinematography perfectly captures this world and the tone of the story, and every other scene is just as effective as it was in the game, sometimes I'd argue done even better. For example, my favourite scene in the game has somehow been improved, which blew me away. This show is the greatest video game adaptation of all time, and I love almost everything about the way it was produced and how faithful it is to the source material. Elements such as music, art, direction and performances are by far the highlight here. I just think the overall pacing in this adaptation of the story and the hollow, unearned ending makes this an inferior way to experience The Last of Us. For those reasons, HBO's Last of Us isn't as good as the game, and that's okay. Hope you guys enjoyed. Please let me know in the comments if you agree with me or not, because I'm genuinely curious about the people who experienced the story for the first time this way. Was the ending effective for you? And did you enjoy the overall show? Please like, comment, and subscribe to see more content in the future, and have a nice day.